Okay, hello. So today we're going to continue on with our pre-intermediate, intermediate conversation. So let's get going. 58. Okay, can love last a lifetime? Now, okay, so last sometimes is confusing for students because last is última in Spanish, but obviously here is como más como durar, yeah? So can love, well, continue for all of your lifetime, basically. And I think so, yeah, it can. I mean, I think the most important thing in any relationship is like really good communication and at the very, very start to know where do you want to go, what's important for you, who you are as a person. I think that a lot of relationships don't continue or don't mature a lot of the time because people aren't really on the same page with what they want and what they want out of their life as well. I think that's really, really important. So I do think that if you're married for 20, 30, 50 years, it can last a lifetime, definitely. Okay, I also think that obviously there is like a physical attraction as well, but I think the most important thing really is like to be attracted to the person's personality. I think that's really, really important. You know, if you like who that person really is, that's probably the most important thing about love lasting a lifetime. Okay, so then question 59. When should you decide what you will do with your life? So I've been thinking about this recently because my son is 16 now, and in the next like 2 years he has to kind of decide. So I think that at 18 it's a very, very young age to decide what to do with the rest of your life. I really think that's a little bit crazy when you think about it, because when I think of myself, which is like half a life ago, yeah, I couldn't imagine thinking at 18 that I was going to decide what to do with the rest of my life. And I'm one of those people that I really didn't know what I wanted to do when I was younger. I kind of fell into teaching, and then it kind of went from there, which is really good. And but yeah, I think 18 is a little bit young. So I think definitely in Mexico for young men, military service, at least 1 year would be really, really good. I had friends from South Korea, and I think at the time, maybe 10 years ago, everybody had to do 2 years. So the first year is like learning to follow orders and structure and everything like that. And then the second year, then you would go into the motor pool if you wanted to become an engineer, or into the IT department if you wanted to study like programming or coding in the future. So I think it would be a really good idea. But I think definitely maybe you should have a year where you study like modules of different things to see what you really like. But obviously it's not the way it works, But I think that 18 is a really, really young time. I think around 19 or 20. Always a good thing to take like a sabbatical year. And well, some people would travel, but I think it's better to work and get a taste of what like the working world is really like. And then after that, then decide what you want to study once you mature a little bit. Are you or will you be a good parent? Okay, so that's question 60. So I think I am. I think obviously like what everybody says is that there's no book to learn about how to become a really good parent. And obviously that's kind of stupid because there are hundreds and hundreds, probably thousands of books about parenting and everything like that. But yeah, I think the most important thing to be a good parent is to take care of yourself and then take care of your kids. And yeah, I think it's really, really important to be honest with your kids, especially when they get to like the teenager years. I think it's really, really important to be very clear. And as always, like kids don't learn through words, they learn through actions. So you have to think about that then as well. Like, I mean, to think of yourself through the eyes of your kid, and that like, okay, what is he observing you doing that you wouldn't like for him to copy or to do something similar in the future. So I think that's a really, really good piece of advice, is to think of yourself and what you're doing from the eyes of your kid, and think about like, oh, how would I perceive that, or would it be good or bad, and then reflect it as well about that, like the way that maybe you saw some actions that you didn't like from your parents. And yeah, I think that's really, really important. And then I think with my son, I'm not very strict about like bedtimes or homework or anything like that, but I'm very, very strict about like studying languages, doing exercise, or studying other things like music, martial arts maybe, or something like that. I think that's really, really important to have not just extracurricular activities, but to kind of fulfill and like exercise different parts of your mind, your body, your soul, that kind of thing. Okay. Question 61. Can men and women ever just be friends? So I think that they can, but obviously with a lot of restrictions and things like that. So I do think that yes, it is possible for men and women to just be friends, but obviously it has to be kind of, how would you say, like in the workplace or in a social gathering or something like that. Obviously, like if you're a man and you're married, you shouldn't really be going to a bar or a restaurant with another woman who's like your friend, because obviously you're not guilty by association, maybe guilty by context or something like that. So obviously, like, you can be friends, but there's obviously certain lines that you cannot blur or cross when it's up to that, you know, when it's in that situation or in that context. Okay, should old people be made to retire or stop driving, etc.? So 62. So I do like this question, especially because coming from Ireland, once you retire, you get free travel on buses and on trains around the country. So I think that's really, really great. If you've been working all of your life and paying taxes, then obviously the government should help you with free transportation. I do think that, like, if you're over 60 something, maybe it's not a good idea to be driving, especially in Mexico where it's quite dangerous, kind of like Mad Max on the highway, you know. So I mean, you do have to be a little bit more careful. Also, driving in the center of town, there's always like people on bicycles or like illegally crossing the road, like jaywalking, as the Americans would say, and then that can cause a lot of accidents. And maybe once you're past a certain age, you're not as observant as you once were. So then, to avoid accidents or damage or like hurting anybody or anything like that, I think it would be a good idea that maybe after 65 or something like that, that you don't need to drive anymore. But obviously that's not the same for people that live outside of the city, where they would have to transport themselves, you know, where they wouldn't have public transportation. Okay, 63. Who is your favorite actor or actress or writer? Okay, so favorite actor, kind of love Harrison Ford. Not in the last few years, but definitely Blade Runner, Indiana Jones, Han Solo, all of that kind of stuff. Really great. Christian Bale has been fantastic ever since he's been like a kid in Empire of the Sun, and he's always doing like really amazing roles, like for example Vice, or even the Batman trilogy and things like that with Christopher Nolan. Really, really great as an actor. American Psycho as well. Really love Jim Carrey then as well, because I think he's very, very versatile. He can do like really stupid slapstick comedies, or else like normal kind of comedies, or else like really poignant dramas like The Truman Show or something like that. So he's a really, really great actor. Favorite actress then? Really like Charlize Theron, like in Monster, and she was really good in Mad Max then as well. And who else? Oh, I had someone in my head now and I forgot. But favorite writer? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. At the moment now I'm going through a lot of like Stoic philosophy and that kind of things, those kind of things. But I don't know. I can't think of a favorite really. Probably, well, Shakespeare is really fantastic, but obviously it's very dense and you really have to kind of go over what you're reading and kind of almost like translate it in your head. Oh yeah, favorite actress. It was, let me think. Sorry, I had to Google that there. Yeah, sorry. Kate Blanchett is probably one of my favorite actresses. I think she's really, really amazing, and she's done lots and lots of different things. She's been Bob Dylan, Galadriel in Lord of the Rings, almost everybody, you know, so really, really great. And favorite writer, I don't know. I mean, Alain de Botton, I really like his travel books. What else then? I don't know. I mean, it's kind of strange. I've read a lot of different writers, but I don't know if I would pick one as my favorite. I don't really read a lot of books of the same writer in general, actually. I'm just kind of realizing that now. Okay, question 64. Can you cook, and what can you cook? Okay, so I can cook some Mexican food. I can cook like flautas and milanesas and different kind of easier ones from Mexico. American food like burgers, hot dogs, all that kind of stuff, very, very easy. Irish food like bacon and cabbage, or a stew, or a roasted chicken, or a casserole, really, really easy. Christmas food like a stuffed turkey with bacon, really amazing, one of my favorite things ever. Chinese food like noodles, egg fried noodles, and then stir fry, really, really good. So it kind of became a hobby of mine in the last like 10 years, and I think I've been getting better. And like obviously like barbecues and things like that, which are really, really common in Mexico. But I really like to cook. It's very meditative in general. And then, yeah, in general, I really like to cook. You know, it's something that you can just focus on one thing for a while and take your mind off of everything else, which I really, really like. Okay, last one, question 65. What do you hate about people? It's kind of a very aggressive question, but obviously, like, chewing with your mouth open drives me absolutely crazy. I can't even be near someone now at this stage if they're doing that. I have to try and listen to music, or else just walk away from a table or something like that. I really don't like people that complain a lot. I think it's very frustrating for me to listen to someone else who's complaining a lot, and I'm not really a fan of that. And, well, yeah, anybody that's like abusive towards like animals or children or anything like that. Drives me really, really crazy. So yeah, that's it. Okay, so we're coming up to 10 minutes. Okay, perfect. So like, comment, subscribe. Have a great day. Bye bye.